I remember almost 2 years ago reading how the substance DMT affects our brains, bodies, spirits, or whatever else. DMT hyperspace, something I never would have ever imagined to be an actuality, to be an actual reality that may very well be real. I remember laughing at a site's frequently asked questions explaining the possibilities of how and what DMT does or is. I was 16 years old then, and since then, I have experimented with psilocybin mushrooms and LSD a great number of times. They were and still are some of the most amazing and beautiful experiences I've ever had in my entire life. Sometimes, the most terrifying as well. It wasn't until recently that I obtained a large amount of DMT. I was very much excited. I had very high expectations and have been waiting for more than 2 years to finally break through DMT hyperspace. Here is my story. In the recent past, I have been experimenting with large doses of DMT. I started with lower doses at first, getting a mild DMT body high and visuals, similar to the peak of an LSD or psilocybin mushrooms trip, only lasting around 5 to 10 minutes. I was getting to these levels at first with a group of friends, as so were they, but none of us ever came close to breaking into a hyperspace. I started to have my doubts, but knew that there was still more to the substance. I perhaps just hadn't perfected the technique of smoking it out of an oil burner or glass vaporizer. It wasn't until recently that I finally perfected the process of vaporizing and smoking the substance and reaching a hyperspace of some sort. Colors would randomly appear in front of me, merging within everything. It was an amazing feeling, an amazing experience like no other, I thought to myself. I was getting to this place, assuming that this place was the highest level of DMT, and assuming this was the hyperspace everyone was talking about. However, I was wrong. The first time it happened, I was in my apartment by myself, away from friends, family, and all of that. I did it sitting in a pretty comfortable gaming chair I got for Christmas one year, which was set up in my room. I was able to get around 3 very long big hits in my lungs when it happened. It wasn't really like being shot out of a cannon into hyperspace, or anything like that, but a little different. It felt more like a teleportation. I was teleported into an alien spaceship compartment flying through space. I don't mean it was kind of like an alien spaceship, or I thought it was an alien spaceship. It was an actual alien spaceship. There weren't colours everywhere, and it wasn't like I travelled through hyperspace or anything that had happened to me in the past. This was so real. It was so detailed in every way. It was like I was really there, in a spaceship. It was reality. It didn't feel like dreaming or tripping or anything like that. I was actually there. The entire time I sat there not being able to move, but just gazing in amazement, I felt a presence. I felt an alien presence above me, like they were watching me, observing me, like they were talking to me telepathically, communicating with me, trying to show me things, or perhaps they were trying to experiment with me. I was so afraid and confused, yet amazed at the same time. It seemed like I was there for almost an hour, and maybe I was. My perception of time was out of the window. My mind was in shock. The last thing I remember while being in that spaceship is a strong telepathic signal from one of the aliens that triggered something inside me. I was able to look down at my legs and my arms and see my bones twisting and turning, my hair building thicker and thicker. I was turning into a monkey. It was so real. I just can't stress that enough. I was totally freaking out when everything suddenly teleported back to my room, back to my reality. However, although the hyperspace and the aliens had left, I was tripping hard. Everything around me was twisting and turning. My bones would still twist and turn if I looked at them long enough. When I looked in the mirror, I looked like I was an alien. Everything was just off, and it was so intense. That lasted for at least 30 minutes or so, which eventually faded as I lay in my bed, not being able to stop thinking, not being able to sleep. My entire body, mind, and spirit were in awe. The next day, I told my roommate everything that happened, and he, like myself, was always fascinated by DMT and always joked about alien life forms and conspiracy theories and junk. However, he was very afraid of actually going to the places that were described as the DMT hyperspace. As much as he enjoyed reading and understanding the drug, he would not do it. He wasn't ready. After a long discussion on what I had experienced, I was convinced that I was contacted with a very intelligent alien life form through DMT. I had this crazy theory, like the aliens knew I had DMT and were trying to contact me and show me things while I could see them when my third eye was activated. Anyways, My friend said I should try it again tonight and see if I have a similar experience. I concluded that I would in fact try it once again later that night. I did it in the same place, around the same time, with the same dose. Everything around me instantly began to change. It was so alien, so unbelievable. I could see the energy coming up my body, telepathically communicating all through, in and throughout my body. Energy shifting around me, life as I know it showing me that there is so much more than the simple physical realm of the fantasy I live in. I was told instantly that aliens were very real, and I knew they were now. I knew that if this is happening right now, right here, then there is no way they are not real. It was so unexplainable, so intense, so real. Nothing like I have ever heard throughout readings on the internet or books about the drug. I was out of control. Life was out of control. I was in the middle of another transportation, except it was so much more intense. Right before my eyes, I left the physical realm. I was able to look down and see once again my bones twisting and turning everywhere and my hair growing. I look up to scream, but it was too late. My head is thrown back as my spirit and brain are transformed into pure energy. I am now flowing through a network of systems, and I am one with the aliens. I am what they are. I am super intelligent. I know all the secrets of the world. Just like that, constant super intelligent information is transmitted into my brain by the aliens, who are energy like me. I knew that the spiritual realm, the infinite realm, was and would always be the more beautiful and more intelligent realm. I knew this because the aliens knew this. I was filled with the greatest feeling I have ever felt. It was the greatest experience I had ever experienced. It was better than anything real. I then knew that I'd become addicted. Not physically, but my mental mysticism and desire so intensely obsessed about what was going on. For the remainder of the night, I listened to some trance techno for a few hours, and then I fell asleep like a baby. I remember having some very intense dreams with memories of seeing the aliens while I was asleep. When I awoke, my roommate came back and was so curious and concerned about what had happened. I remember his exact words. "Dude, what the hell happened last night, man? Look at the crazy text you sent me." I looked at his phone and smiled, even though I should have been freaked out. It was a text from me that said, "We have shown your friend everything he needs to know. We want you too." I didn't remember texting that at all. My friend was starting to worry and kind of freaked out. He said, "What is going on, man? Is this really happening? Are these things really happening to you, or are you messing with me?" I looked down, now confused again. Is this real? Do I even know what real is anymore? What is happening to me? I think I'm either actually discovering the secrets of the world or slowly slipping into insanity. Oh my. That night I sat there looking at it. Looking at the DMT loaded in the pipe, ready to go. What should I do, I thought. I have to get back to where I was. They told me I could go back whenever I wanted. I did it in the same place, around the same time with the same dose. Energy began to flow like before. Alien telepathic communications were strong, and I began to look up and close my eyes, only to be shot back into that mystical alien spaceship I was in before, the hyperspace heaven. I was on one of those machines that carry stuff in like a factory, being rolled through some kind of processor data analyzer machine. Seeing the aliens all around me, looking down at me, angry. They were so intimidating, angry, upset, mad at me, but I didn't know why. I wasn't in the beautiful place they had taken me before, but I was in a more physical realm, a different dimension. They were just looking at me, sucking all of the intelligence out of me that they had given me before. Angry at me for some reason. I didn't know why. I didn't know what I did. I didn't understand. I was shot out of the spaceship quicker than normal, and back kind of to my reality, except my body was once again changing as I looked at it. My hands were completely monkey, along with big hairy arms. I felt like I was actually a monkey, and I thought I'd begun to scream like a monkey. I felt lost. I felt like part of my brain was crazy, and I was no longer super intelligent. There was also no more strong, intense euphoria like before. What had happened? Why? After I was completely down, I began to rethink reality and what has happened to me the past week. Perhaps it was time for me to leave the substance alone for a while. I need a week or so to settle down, think about what has happened, and try to figure out what was going on. I needed help, I thought, but not from a doctor. I wasn't completely crazy yet. I'm still in touch with my own reality, but I'm very well beginning to question reality like no other time in my life. I feel as though that I've broken through to another level of DMT. that I went to a level past DMT and made contact with the other side as they had connected to me. The things that had been happening to me were nothing like a drug. Nothing like LSD or anything like it could ever do what this has done, not even close. This substance was something else, a key to our chemical structure, a key to our DNA, the key to life. I thought that I had been living in a science fiction horror movie and that I was quite possibly on the edge of going insane. I just don't know what to think about all of this.